Okay. First, we need to discuss about why we need testing and what is software testing, and then how these testing principles are there. And few keywords we should know: what is fault, defect, failure, and this terminology also we should know. And then we'll discuss all the testing principles. So all the testing principles we will come to know. We'll see that how much we can finish today. All those things we'll discuss one by one. And basically, first, why do we need testing, and what is the necessity of testing? What is the importance of testing? So, as you know, previously only developers was developing and implementing the applications and testing the application. Both actions are done by developers only, and they will code it, and they'll do a very light testing, and they are not able to test very effectively all the scenarios. They are not able to cover, and once it reaches the customer is facing a lot of issues. Those issues can be very effective and very dangerous, and there are very right. The mistakes are very important. Bugs are there, and that sometimes it is very expensive and they are dangerous. Maybe the bugs might be very costly, because of that he is not able to use the application, and it is causing a lot of problems and no useful for the customers. So that's why, and what they did, and they decided, every company decided, who produced the code, who produced the application, they should not test. If they test it, the quality is not going to be given properly. And if everything goes wrong, and that doesn't help for the customers, and also business won't go in proper way. In order to avoid that, so they decided to have a third party person, that is a testing team. Before, testing team was not there. Once we remove these bugs or any mistakes in the code, then only we can improve the code, improve the quality. Otherwise, you cannot improve the quality. So mistakes can come from a different reasons, right? Maybe we didn't understand the requirements properly, or we didn't test it properly. So all the scenarios we didn't cover. So many reasons for that. Because as humans make mistakes, right? Humans also can make mistakes. But that mistakes you have to rectify, then it won't be give any problem for the customer or who is using the application. If you are not removing and sending directly to the customers, and it will be a bigger problem. That is the reason they included a testing team separately, solve all the problems and all the mistakes. Now finding out the mistakes in the code and correcting them and improving the quality is done by testing team effectively. That's why testing is a very important. So bring all the mistakes in the application, we need a testing team is not in place, we are going to see a lot of issues. That's the reason we needed a testing wherever the application development or production things. We need a testing team mandatorily. So who is producing, they always feel that my code is good, and they won't find the mistakes in their code or in their work. Even we might miss some use cases. Then what we need to do, you can ask somebody, your colleague, to test. So instead of you have done one round of testing, your friend also, your colleague also will do one more round. So his thoughts are different, your thoughts are different. He may try differently, you can try differently. So, but however you use the application, whatever the way you use the application, it should work as per expectations, as per customer expectations. If it is deviating, then that problems will come. The problems are sometimes it is a dangerous, sometimes it is a financial loss, sometimes it is a business loss. So there are many reasons of no issues will be there because of the issues in the application. So loss can be different types, a small issue or medium or large issues. So it can damage the reputation of the company, and financial loss, you will lose the money if business is not running and the page is not working, and it's going to be a problem, right? And that is the reason we need a proper testing team. Every company follows the testing procedures, and that's why they are able to deliver the quality product. Means everybody makes mistakes. Developers makes mistakes, and developers also humans. That's why they will make mistakes. The mistakes can be very expensive, or some of the mistakes are unimportant, some of them are dangerous, some of them are financial loss or a business loss, or company reputation may go in danger. So that is the reason, to avoid all these problems, we need a testing team, we need a testing in the company. So that's what is the necessity of testing. And the next one, what is the software testing? So as per IEEE standards, the testing definition is an examination of the behavior of the program by executing on sample data sets is called software testing. But in detail, you can give testing is executing a program with an intention of finding the defects, reporting the defects, and verifying the defects is called software testing. That's the software testing definition. And basically testing means you are finding the defect, then you are reporting the defect. Once they have fixed those by the development team, and then it comes to a testing team, and we have to verify the defects. So this is the complete testing process. And testing is just executing the program with an intention of finding the defects and faults and errors in the application. So that's this software testing means. So software testing is an organizational process within software development in which business critical software is verified for correctness, for quality, and for performance. So these three things are, so look into that any application, any software. So software testing is used to ensure that expected business systems and product features behave correctly as per customer expectation. So software testing may be either manual or an automated process. So software testing can be manual testing or automation testing. Both will be there. That's the so testing is. What is manual testing? So manual testing is led by a team or individual who will manually operate software product and ensure it behaves as expected. That means you will go to the any application, you will do on yourself, and you will do every action on the application. You will input and you will check the output, you will do some action, that action related correct page is showing or not, correctness is coming or not, you will verify on yourself. Every page you have to go and verify that. That's a manual testing. Automation testing is composed of many different tools which have varying capabilities ranging from isolated code correctness checks to simulate a full human driven manual testing experience. Basically, your manual testing, you are going to do everything, but for our task, manual task is done by automation. So automation testing, you can say simply using a software tool by writing the automation test using some programming language to cope up with the repeated tasks. All right, to test with a repeated task we'll go for automation testing. That's a automation testing means. So these are the few keywords. These are the few terminologies we should understand. What is a testing? And basically you are using some application. Application means anything. You take car, you take car. You are using a car. After using a car, after some time, you are getting some issue, maybe brake failure or some issue was there, and then we have to report that, right? That issue you have to report to the mechanic. So once the mechanic, if you go to the mechanic shop, you will explain, right? Your issue, you will explain. You will explain the issue, right? You will explain the what is the problem you are facing. So you will explain the issue to the mechanic. Then he will look into that issue because he understands all the machinery parts, everything, and he will explain very clearly, and he will look into the code. Code is nothing but he will look into the engines and everything. What is the problem? And he will go to that part where exactly you reported the issue. He will go and look into that part and he will fix it. Once he fixes, and he will recollect that car, right? So after recollecting, you will also verify once, right, whether it is working or not, whether he has fixed it or not. That is called testing. So that is called testing. You are using the application, you are using the car. While using the car, you face some problems. Then immediately where we are going? The mechanic shop you will go, or service center you will go. In the service center, what you will do? You will explain to them. But explaining, they cannot catch, right? You have to tell how you got that issue, what is the issue. You need to tell very clearly. So that is what we are going to see, same in testing also, software testing also. Before customer uses the application, a tester is the first customer for the application. A tester will use the application first. Even nobody uses, first tester only will use the application. Because he is going to use and test it thoroughly, then he will send it to the customers. So that is what testing means. And what is a fault? A fault is a condition that causes the software to fail to perform its required function. It is fail to perform its required function. That's the fault. Fault is a condition that causes the software to fail to perform its required function. And suppose you take any application, right? You take any application. So particular portion, maybe if I click on this sign in, it is not able to, suppose you assume that it is not able to perform. It is not able to perform this operations, right? It is not able to perform the operations. And when you enter username password, you are not able to sign in. So this one function it is not performing. That is called a fault in the software. Then it will cause the issue. Then that is called fault. If there is a fault in the software, so that is not going to perform, that function is not going to perform. That's a called fault. And defect. So defect means the difference between actual output and expected output is called defect. A failure is the inability of a system means entire application, or a component means particular module, particular area. Module means log in one module, log out another module, registration another module, like that, different modules. And to perform required function according to its specification, it is unable to perform the required function as per customer expectation, as per its specification. Customer has given some specifications, so based on that it is not able to perform. Then that is called failure. Failure of the system, failure of the component. So failure means the event is many actions will be there. Many actions will be there. So that all those actions are not going to perform properly. The entire actions will fail. That's a failure. Failure of the entire system or entire component or one component in the application. As I mentioned, right, in the system or in the application, you have so many, right, so many things will be there. Just now I have shown you in the rediff.com. If you go, this is one component. Money is one component. Rediff mail is one component. Business email is one component. Videos is another component. Enterprise email is another component. Shopping is another component. Create account is another component. Sign in is another module. Like this, so many modules you have, right? So many modules you have. Each module, for example, this module is not working, and that's a failure of this business email in this Rediff. Are you clicking on the create account? It is not working. Then it's a failure because one big component. Entire model is broken. Right? That's this failure means. Failure means entire component is not working. Fault means one particular part, one particular element is not going to work. Suppose the button is not working, right? The button is not working. The particular link is not working. That's a function. There is a problem. There is an error in the code, in the sign-in code, and that's why it is not performing. And so that is called one fault. If there is a mistake in the code or error in the code, a mistake is called error. If there is an error in the code, a fault will happen. Particular function is not going to perform as per its expectation. So that is called fault. But failure means the component is breaking. That's a failure. Failure means entire component is not working at all. That's called failure. But particular function is not working because of issue in the code. That is called fault. Okay, that's a fault, failure, and defect. So defect means expect result and actual result. Expect result and actual result both are not matching. Both are not matching, then that is called a defect. Customer is expecting something, but application is behaving differently. Both are not matching, then that is called a defect. Okay, so these are the three terminologies we should know. What are testing principles? So testing principles means everything has some principles, some characteristics, right? And same way, this testing also some principles are. And first principle is testing shows presence of defects or mistakes in the application. What is meant by this? Testing shows presence of defects or presence of mistakes. So testing is mainly focus on finding the defects in the application. Always. Testing tells you, okay, there are bugs in the application. But no matter how thoroughly the product is tested, you never give a guarantee 100% there are no defects. You cannot tell that and there are no defects at all, 100% you cannot tell. Why? You cannot test all the scenarios, right? All the combinations you cannot test it. That's why you cannot say 100% so bug free. We can only use testing to reduce the number of bugs. So we can tell only we can reduce the number of defects, but we cannot give a guarantee that and there is no bugs at all. But maybe some conditions it might fail. We don't know, right? We didn't cover that scenarios. That's why always testing shows presence of defects and presence of mistakes or defects. It will tell. That's the first point. Second point. Exhaustive testing is impossible. Exhaustive testing is impossible. So what is meant by this? Exhaustive. Just understand English word, okay? Exhaustive, right? More than the normal thing, right? More than the normal, you are doing extra. More that, more testing. So exhaustive testing is impossible means there is no way to test all combination of inputs, scenarios and preconditions within an application. Testing each and every scenario and giving each and every input data and all preconditions is not possible to test in anywhere. Why it is not possible is you don't have a time for that. And also you will miss if you go that way, exhaustive testing if you're doing and you cannot complete the testing. That's why we're not going to do exhaustive testing, and that is not possible at all. For example, if a single application screen contains 10 input fields with 3 possible value options each, this means to cover all possible combinations, test engineers would need to create 310 test scenarios. So 3 to the power of 10 test scenarios. And are 59,049 test scenarios we need to write. And what if the app contains 50 plus such screens? So what will happen? Then it's not possible, right? In order not to spend weeks creating millions of such less possible scenarios, it is better to focus on potentially more significant use cases, more important test cases, mostly used by the customers, mostly used by all the people. In those areas only focus instead of testing each and every combination of inputs, and this is the best approach, right? The best approach. So to do a important based testing or significant based use cases or scenarios we can test. So what is exhaustive testing means? Exhaustive testing is impossible. Let's see. Telling that there is no way to test all combination of data inputs, scenarios and preconditions within an application. So you cannot test, for example, a field is accepting 250 characters. Is it possible to test each and every input? 1 character, 2 characters, 3 characters, and so on, 250 characters. Will you test every time one character, keep on incrementing? That's not possible, because each and every input condition we cannot give, and preconditions, all of them we cannot give. That's how exhaustive testing means. And so are you clear on these 2 points? Testing always shows presence of defects. Second one, exhaustive testing is impossible. Third one is early testing. Early testing is important. So once the project starts, and tester also should participate in the beginning of the meeting, then you can find the defects early stage and you can avoid a lot of mistakes. So The cost of an error grows exponentially throughout the stages of SDLC. There are many stages will be there. First, requirements gathering, analysis, design, coding, testing, installation or deployment, maintenance. These are the different stages of SDLC, software development life. So it is important to start the testing activities as soon as possible in the software development life cycle. If you're not doing that, so that you can find any mistakes in the early stage, so that the cost will reduce. If you are participating in the meetings from the beginning, you can understand easily what is happening, and you will understand the requirements. Once you understanding the requirements, you can test it very easily. That's why testing activities should start as early as possible in the development life. So any other question till these 3 points?
No, sir.
Fourth step, defect clustering. So defect clustering means we are developing a lot of components, small modules we will develop first, then we will join them, right? When you join small modules, and then you will get a more bugs, operational bugs you will get. So let's see what is this. This principle is often referred to as an application of the Pareto principle to software testing. What is meant by Pareto principle means? Pareto principle means that approximately 80% of all errors are usually found in only 20% of the system modules. So 20-80 combination, 80% of issues you will find in the 20% of the components or system modules. Therefore, if a defect is found in a particular module of a software program, the chances are there might be other defects also. If one module you find some defect, there are chances having defects by other modules also. That's why it makes sense to test the area of the product thoroughly. Whenever you are joining the modules, and make sure the data is flowing from one module to other module and talking each other or not. Everything you can check thoroughly, and whether it is operational or not after joining. Independently, it might work, but when you join, if they haven't joined properly, you might get any issues. How can you avoid this? By testing them one more time. Thoroughly, you test them. So that is called defect clustering. So after joining all the individual components, we need to check for the operational aspects, everything working properly or not. That's a defect clustering. So next one, pesticide paradox. Pesticide paradox. Running the same test cases again and again won't help you find more issues. For example, you have written test cases, 50 test cases. Same test case you are executing multiple times, and you're not changing anything, then there is no use and you won't get any bugs. So instead of that, what you will do, you always keep updating your test cases and review the test cases regularly in order to adopt the new changes, new test data you can include in your test case document, and then you can find the more errors. You can find the defects. That is the pesticide paradox means, right? That's a pesticide paradox. Instead of testing the same test cases over and over again, and you update those test cases, maybe use a different test data, update the old test case with new set of way to write the test cases, and then execute them. Then you will definitely get a new bugs. That is called pesticide paradox. Next one is testing is context dependent. Testing is context dependent. What is testing is context dependent means what? For example, in the market, we have different types of applications, right? You have seen healthcare applications, insurance applications, banking applications, e-commerce applications, retail and financial applications. So many types of applications we can see in the market, but all the applications you cannot test the same way. Same testing technique, same thing, it won't be possible. E-commerce, you don't need much no security, but banking applications, you need more security, right? You need more security. Otherwise, so it's a danger. It's a danger for the people who are saving the money in their banks, right? So based on the application type, we need to change our testing strategy. For banking, you have to do more security testing. For e-commerce, you don't need that much security. Normal testing, if you all functionality is working, that's fine for that. So that is called context dependent. Based on the application type, we can change our test strategy. That is called testing is context dependent. Clear, Rupa?
Yeah, clear, Andy.
Okay.
Are you provide all the document after this class, sir?
So this is our blog.
Yeah,
This is
blog.
our blog. You can just access, you will get all the things.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Yeah, I'll give it.
Okay.
Anyway, you have to write and send it to me. I need to explain to me.
Okay.
The next, absence of error fallacy. The seventh principle. Absence of error fallacy means you are testing and developers are fixing the issues. But if the application is not stable and it is going down, and then the customer cannot use, right? Even though you have found many issues, you filed the many issues and developers fixed them, you re-verified them, no issues. But if the application is not stable and it is not up, it is going down every 1 hour or something like that, then that's an issue, right? If bugs are not there, means that's not a stable application. If the application also should be efficient while running in the server, it should allow to use by the customers. If it is not useful for the customers and not meeting the customer expectations and not useful for the customer, then there is no issue, there is no use. So in the absence of errors means it should work properly. That's the absence of error fallacy means all these 7 principles. The above listed principles are undisputed guidelines for every software testing professional, but there are some more aspects we need to consider, and some sources note other principles in addition to basic ones. This is one. Testing must be independent process handled by the testing professionals, and test for invalid and unexpected input values as well as a valid and expected ones. You have to test both valid and invalid input data. You have to test it. Then only you will find out the issues. Testing should be performed only on a static piece of software. No changes should be made in the process of testing. While testing time, you should not change the code. Then what will happen? It behaves differently if he is changing the code. That's why we should not allow to change the code by the development team. In our machine, in the testing machine, they should not touch. They should not do any modifications. And use exhaustive and comprehensive documentation to define the expected test results. So these are the other principles also. Let's summarize all the principles one by one. What are the testing principles? First one is presence of defect. Second one,
Exhaustive testing is
not possible, is impossible. Exhaustive testing is impossible. Third one,
early
early
testing.
testing. And fourth one, defect clustering. When you join them all the modules, there may be some operational failures will be there. If you are not testing that joining the different modules. Next, pesticide paradox. What is meant by pesticide paradox means testing the same test cases over and over again. It won't help you, right? It won't help you, and you have to update the test cases every time and give a new test data and keep updating the test cases will give you chances of finding the defect. That's the pesticide paradox. And next one is testing is context dependent. In the market, we have so many types of applications, so many different domains. The domains means a group of software applications. Comes under one type of category of applications. Healthcare domain, all health related applications. Insurance domain, all insurance related applications. Banking related applications. Financial, all financial related applications. So trading and stocks, another type of applications. E-commerce, another type of application. These are the different domains. Each domain may contain a collection of applications. That is this context dependent means based on the application type, we are going to change the test strategy. That is, this testing is context dependent. Next, absence of error fallacy. If you are testing, finding the defects, developers are fixing, all are okay. There is no bugs, but application is not stable, not useful for the customers, not working as per expectation, then no use, right? That's what they're saying. And also, testing must be an independent process handled by the unbiased professionals. Which there is no relation with the coding, then only they can test it thoroughly. Test for invalid and unexpected input values as well as the valid and expected ones. You need to always test valid and invalid values. And then check the expected and actual values. You compare both of them. Testing should be performed only on a static piece of software and use exhaustive and comprehensive documentation to define the expected test result. We have seen till now today what is software testing. We have seen few definitions. What is manual testing and automation testing. Then we have seen fault. Fault is there is a mistake in the code. That mistake might cause one function to fail to perform. One function to fail to perform. That's a fault. And defect means there are expected and actual value difference is there. Expected result who will give? Customer will give for us in the requirement document. And actual value who will give? Application is going to give actual value. Both are not matching. Customer is expecting something, but application is behaving some other way. Both are not matching. That is called defect. Failure means entire component is not working. Entire module is not working. One component at all not working. Then that is called failure. Failure is an event. Failure is an event. And fault is caused by an error in the code. If there is an error in the code, that's called a fault. Because of that error, one function is not able to perform. So that is what this testing principles and some definitions what we have. What is software testing? Software testing means executing a software program and finding the defects, reporting them, and then verifying the defects. That's a tester responsibility. Always tester mind should be, you should break the application. You always, your intention should be you finding the defects. Second one, you have to break the application. Break means you are trying to find out the different bottlenecks in the application, different issues in the application, weaknesses in the application you are trying to find out by test. And these are the testing definitions we have seen. Now, last topic for the day, we'll see why is software testing? Why do we need a software test? What is the necessity? Necessity we have seen to find the major issues, to reduce the loss of business reputation. You can avoid all these things. And why is software testing means to discover the defects. To discover defects means you are finding the defects in the application. To avoid user detecting problems. User detecting problems means customer is not going to find the defects because you are finding them already in the first, before releasing the application itself. That's why tester is the first customer for the application, because he is only using the application and finding the issues. That's you can avoid if you test it properly, and many issues you can avoid by finding by the customers. That's the second point. Third point is you can prove that software has no faults. Software has no faults, you can prove that. And next one is to learn about the reliability of the software. So you want to find the reliability of the software, you can use. And another one, you can ensure that product works as per user expected conditions, as per expectation. You can stay in business. You means the company can stay in business, because once you do a good job in testing and given good quality, and the same customer might come back with some other new requirement or same thing for the further improvement, they'll keep coming. That's why you can stay in business if you're doing a good quality testing. And testing detect the defects early stage. So this helps in reducing the cost of defect fixing. So these are the points we should know why we need a software testing, right? So why we need a software testing. These are the reasons why we are preferring software testing. And what are some major computer failures caused by software bugs? What are the failures? If there is no proper testing, and software bugs might occur in that area. Now, in March of 2012, initial public offering of the stock of a new stock exchange was cancelled due to software bugs in their trading platform. So actually they have to release the trading for one of the product IPO in 2012 March. But what happened? And suddenly the software has an issue. And what happened? They cancelled that IPO distribution, and later they rectified the issue. Then they started the trading. So the high-speed trading platform reportedly was already handling more than 10% of all trading in US securities. But the processing of initial IPO trading was new for the system. That's why, though it had undergone testing, it was unable to properly handle the IPO initial trades. So the problem also briefly affected trading of the other stocks and other stock exchanges. So if there is a issue comes in the stock exchange with application, entire thing will collapse, right? Because many people will concentrate there only. So that's one of the reason for the software bug in the application. And another one, what are other failure? So it was reported that software problems in the automated highway toll gate system, and it is charging more than the expectation amount. Then they looked into the code. So there is an error in the code. So due to that error in the code, and they are not able to charge, and the customer is facing a lot of problems. Customer is seeing more than expected amount. So all this we have seen, right? So that's the reason if testing is there, if proper testing team, you cannot see the bugs again. That's advantage. And if there is no testing team, you have to see a lot of problems. And a US country found that there is a state computer software assigned thousands of voters to invalid voting locations in November 2011. So what happened? In the computer, the thousands of voters from other regions, other area, other location people, names are showing in this locality. That's wrong, right? Entirely. And then they found the issue, they rectified, and then continue starting. That's a third point. So in 2011, a major North American retailer initiated its own online e-commerce website. Right? He started in 2011 his own online e-commerce website. After contracting it out for many years, they given contract to some other company. Many years they are running, right? Running. Then suddenly, after a few months, the site crashed 6 times. Home-page links were not found to work. Gift registries are reported working properly or not working properly. Online division's president left the company because of these issues. Because it's not his problem, but somehow more times it is crashing. That's not good. That's one issue with that. A new US government run credit card complaint handling system was not working correctly according to the August 2011 reports. Banks were required to respond to complaints routed to them from the system, but due to system bugs, the complaints were not consistently being routed to different companies as per expectation. So these are the some of them, but still few more are there.